This episode of Sideline Warning is brought to you by Roost Sport, makers of the original magnetic running pouch. Whether you're biking, running, hiking, or even traveling, the Roost Sport clips to your waistband with magnets for an easy, convenient way to carry what you need without the bulk of belts or bags. Visit theroostsport.com and use the code SIDELINE30, all lowercase, for 30% off their entire product line. Again, that's theroostsport.com, promo code SIDELINE30. And now on with the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, put down your solo cups and fried pickles because this is Sideline Warning, the show with the perfect balance of hot sports takes, amazing insights, and good Lord, amen, get off my lawn style rants. If you want to be a part of the madness, call the Blitz line at 931-44-BLITZ. That's B-L-I-T-Z, because that's how you spell Blitz. And now, here to recap this week's biggest and best stories from around the Southeast and beyond are your hosts, the phenomenal brother Adam Russell and the golden voice of the Southeast, Dave Adams. Let's do this.
And welcome into Sideline Warning, everybody. As always, you've got the one, the only, the golden voice of the Southeast, Dave Adams, coming to you live and in living color from Harvest, Alabama. That's right, all the way at the top of the state of Alabama, because just like Harvest, I'm on top of my game when it comes to knowledge of sports. And as always, I have brought in my giggling friend, the one, the only, all the way from the House of Mouse, all the way from St. Cloud, from Giggle Land, the armpit of America, the phenomenal brother, Adam Russell.
Oh, how are you, Dave? It's awfully moist in the armpit of America today. It's raining. But
oh my gosh,
it's over now. Imagine that.
Did you really just say that it's moist? Amanda loves that word.
It's accurate.
Yeah, but still, moist. Let's see how many times we can say moist in the podcast.
I think we might lose some people. I get nervous.
Moist. Do you want to do ASMR? Moist. This is a very moist sound. But anyway,
I actually work with a gentleman whose last name is Moist.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you.
Wow. All right. So how is the armpit of America, Orlando, Florida?
It's fantastic. It's the most photographed location in the world.
Is it really?
Yeah, the castle is the most photographed structure.
In the world?
In the world. That's what they say.
Like more photographed than the pyramids, the Sphinx,
Those would be in the same world, yes.
Are you kidding me?
Look it up in your Google machine when we're done.
I love Disney, but really?
That's what they say.
Okay.
And everybody's screaming right now, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's the Eiffel Tower or something.
Is that just a stat you made up?
No, I seriously do think that's true.
Okay. So there's no easy way to say what the announcement we're about to make, right, Adam?
No, there would be an easy way to say it, but it's too hard to do it the easy way. How about that?
There you go. So a year and a half, 2 years ago,
yeah,
Adam, I had the idea to start a podcast, a sports podcast, because at the time sports was everything I talked about. And I didn't think you would come along this podcast because I didn't think that you would be a broadcast type guy. I started it with Hollywood Ben Foster and of course Leah Barrier, who went on to do other things. And Ben and I took the podcast on and we added you and it went from there. And then Ben went to greener pastures as well, and now you and I have taken the banner. It's morphed into a couple of different things. It's gone a little different way than I thought it would. And I think that's a good way to end Sideline Warning.
To what?
To end Sideline Warning.
They heard that correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all have... But I want you to understand this. We are not going away forever.
Oh, unfortunately for you guys.
Right? Y'all have heard us tease Unrelated at Birth the last, 3 weeks, Adam?
Yeah.
3 to 4 weeks?
Yeah.
And I think that it's time that we ended Sideline Warning and just focused on Unrelated to Birth. Now, Unrelated to Birth is going to be a stream of consciousness type show. It's going to be one of those shows where we can talk about anything and everything. Adam and I have a love of sports. We have a love of pop culture. We have a love of Harry Potter. Me now, a love of Harry Potter, a love of Star Wars, a love of Disney, a love of pretty much anything that you want to talk about. I like wrestling. He likes reading.
Two very related things.
Right. We've always said, and we've been told, that we are separated at birth. The idea of the show is the topics are unrelated, like we are, but at the end, they're going to have some way to tie them together. We will talk sports still in this show on Unrelated at Birth because we talk sports, and that's how we do.
Yep.
But Adam and I both are working fathers. We both have two kids, a loving wife, who allow us to take time out of our schedules to do this. And the more we thought about it, the more doing two podcasts probably wouldn't be fair to our wives and our kids. In fact, you will probably hear me and Adam guest host on another podcast, Diz Dad's podcast. We'll give them a plug. I'm part of that network. I'm going to bring Adam along into that network as well. But to have a regular 2-show schedule, it's a little taxing sometimes, and I didn't want to close Sideline Warning. I wanted to have a sports-based podcast, but the more we got into stream of consciousness with Sideline Warning, the more it started turning into Unrelated at Birth, even on Sideline Warning.
That's right.
And I think that for the listener, for us, for our families, it's best to take a step back, I guess, and let Sideline Warning morph into Unrelated at Birth. Birthday?
What?
Birth. Yeah, exactly. Adam, this has been me rambling for 6 minutes now. What say you on all this?
No, I think it's actually a great thing. It's sad to see Sideline Warning itself as a chapter close. And it's one of those things we've worked at for so long. But I think that this is a natural evolution of that in a way, because we'll still talk sports. We'll still talk things that are centered around that, but we'll also open up to many, many more topics that us and the folks that already listen to us are passionate about too. So I think, being a show about more than sports is only a good thing for everybody. I think it gives more chances for everybody to interact with us. It gives more chances for folks to hear something that relates directly to them, and it gives us the chance to rant on even more stuff than we ran on today. So,
wait, you mean we get to rant on more stuff?
Yeah, can you believe it? As if we could possibly do that.
We never do that on Facebook or anything, Adam.
No,
we
never.
Don't even we
text, Facebook, podcast, never know.
Is Shrek a kids movie? Is it an adult movie? I don't even know.
You really don't want to start that, do you?
I might. I mean, I did on Facebook.
That's true. That's true.
I do want to nail this point home. We are not closing Sideline Warning because of the fans, because we don't want to talk sports like Adam said. We are actually opening this up to bring in more topics, to bring in everything else. We appreciate guys like BK, CJ, Kyle. We have a lot of initials.
Yeah, we do, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Your dad. We appreciate all these people that call in all the time and give us their feedback. And good night, Emma. Speaking of one of Adam's kids, good night, Emma.
Say hi.
Yeah,
say hi.
Emma and Aiden both are going. Aiden, say hey on here, man.
Say hi.
Hi.
There you go.
There's
now
Emma and Aiden.
Now you're famous.
I would bring my kids in, but my oldest Ellie is spending the night with my sister-in-law.
Yep.
And Harper doesn't really know how to talk into a mic yet. So, but we appreciate the guys who call in and make this show great, because it is more than just Adam and I talking to each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are going to continue having this be a caller-driven show. We hope. We're going to continue having people give us feedback. We're probably going to change the Sideline Warning Facebook fan group. We're going to be Unrelated at Birth fan group or something like that. We are going to, I don't know, Adam, are we going to change the phone number? Because
we may find a different way. I don't know. I think that's one of the reasons that I think we need to step away and really dial a lot of that stuff in. Right? Is only a week or two, and we'll be back with the new format. But we want to make sure that all that stuff is ready and that we have a good way to do it. I mean, the sky's the limit of this with all the tech and different ways you can connect out there. Right? This may be live, and it goes on live, and people can comment on YouTube, people can, whatever on Facebook, or it may be more than just the phone. But we will at least probably change the number, I would think. But that's the kind of stuff we got to figure out and really lock down. I mean, having an idea, having the song, having a logo, having all that kind of stuff, and bringing it together so that we have one package that everybody can really enjoy when the time's right. So, which
I don't want to turn this into one big commercial for Unrelated at Birth, but I will say, I will say this: the song that you're going to hear at the end of this Sideline Warning, the end of the last Sideline Warning, is going to be our theme song for Unrelated at Birth.
Yep.
If you know anything about wrestling, and if you've watched any wrestling in the last month, if you've watched AEW, the new wrestling promotion that's out there, you have heard Kenny Omega's entrance music. The man that orchestrated Kenny Omega's entrance music and the Young Bucks entrance music at Fyter Fest last Saturday, Dylan Spears, is the same guy that made our intro music for Unrelated at Birth. Do you know? I mean, Dylan's a buddy of mine. I know the guy, but just the fact that a guy who made the wrestling intro music for one of my favorite tag teams and one of my favorite singles wrestlers also made our podcast intro. I'm giddy about that.
You're geeking out a little bit.
I'm geeking out. I really am.
Yeah.
So I hope we're not going to lose listeners. I hope we gain listeners. I think, like you said, Adam, I think this opens up the format to even more people, because we had kind of painted ourselves in a corner, for lack of a better thought.
Well, it was the thing that we were passionate about, and I think as we've talked about that enough, it's like you said earlier, we talked sports, we talked the Braves, Alabama football, Alabama basketball, all that stuff. And then we started to realize as we're talking about it, how passionate we are on an equal plane with other stuff. We're just as passionate about Star Wars or Harry Potter or theme parks or random stuff. We were even talking in the pre-show before we started recording, jigsaw puzzles and rooster tail fishing lures, anything that's out there. Cause those are a couple of the things that I'm pretty loyal to and have a habit around, is fishing and puzzles, and it could literally be anything. And I think overall it opens up the floor for us. I think it opens up the floor for everybody else to share their opinions, and kind of that thing that we did the last few weeks. And you led a lot of that, Dave, around Shrek being a kids movie versus a adult movie, and what are your favorite 5 baseball movies and your favorite college football memory. That's the type of stuff we want to do. It sometimes there will be a big enough sports story, particularly with SEC media days and football starting literally next month now. I mean, there's enough stuff out there where we'll fit it in and it'll still be part of it. But there's just more that we're passionate about, that we want to talk about everything,
Yeah. In fact, I pitched this to Adam, and he kind of didn't like it, but I'm still going to pitch it some more. When and if we talk sports, or when we talk sports on Unrelated at Birth, I say we call it the Sideline Warning segment.
Okay.
Just because I want a little bit of that Sideline Warning feel still in Unrelated at Birth. So I don't know. And to prove a point, I hate to say this, but to prove a point that we are going to still talk sports, we are still going to be caller driven. We're going to let our friends call in and let us know what's going on with the show. I think a week ago, BK called into the Blitz line and actually had a call that ties this bridge of pop culture, sports, what have you, ties the bridge perfectly. So, Adam, do you want to cue that up for us real quick?
Sure. Here we go.
Hey guys, it's BK. I'd have to call you right after I listened to the latest episode. Pretty much on this beautiful day here in Northeast Ohio, which is hard for me to say. But anyways, I wanted to comment on Dave's comment about Moneyball and sabermetrics. I mean, I don't understand it. I'm not a math guy, but I will understand this, is that baseball is a business. As a guy who is a fan of a small market team, it is very much a business. I mean, the owner of the Indians said, hey, enjoy Frankie Lindor for 2 more years, and then he'll be gone. So I get it. You don't like sabermetrics, but here's the thing that you said, and you know I love calling you out on this. Did it win championships? And no, it didn't. But if you say that success is only by winning a championship, did the great Braves teams of the 90s, were they great? Because they only won 1 championship. They were in the playoffs. They even made it to the NLCS a lot, but they only won 1 championship. So by that meaning, are you saying that the Braves of the 90s was a failure because they only won 1 championship, and the Yankees are the greatest team ever because they won how many championships during that time? Yeah, I hate to do that to you, but you forced me to. But one thing I will mention about the baseball movies, I can only say my top 5 are the ones that I've watched, and I will say that my top 5 would be Major League, Field of Dreams, Angels in the Outfield, because that was one of my favorite movies, Moneyball, and I guess I will say, I guess I just have to default to Major League too. I do know I need to watch more baseball movies. My manager at my work said I need to watch 8 Men Out. So, hey, keep up the good work, guys. Maybe I can be on the show, Adam, and help you bash Dave and all his, wrongness. Keep up the good work, guys. I'll talk to you later. Go Tribe.
Wrongness?
I thought it was an accurate description.
Wrongness. Okay. BK, yeah, you do need to watch more baseball movies. Watch Bull Durham. If you like Major League, you'll get a good kick out of it.
I still need to watch that one.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Make sure Aiden and Emma go to bed. There is one soliloquy in there. You like my big word?
Look
soliloquy.
At you.
There's one speech in there that they don't need to hear.
Got it.
But it's a great movie. It's a minor league movie. It's about players in the minors and all that. It's very 80s. It's very cheesy, but so is Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
So on to the Braves comment that BK made. Do I consider them a failure? No, because they won a championship. Mm-hmm. Do I consider that run a failure? No, because they won a championship. They could have done more. They should have done more. The Yankees only won 2 in that span, if I'm remembering correctly. The Yankees actually lost more games than the Braves lost in the World Series in that span. So would you consider that a failure? Now that I'm thinking about it, the Braves lost to the Twins. They lost to the Blue Jays. And they lost to the Yankees twice. So, no, the Braves lost more World Series. Sorry, that's not – yeah, never mind. I lost that argument.
But at least they're not the Buffalo Bills of baseball, right? I mean, they won 1.
But they are maybe because the Bills made it to the championship game. I mean, I would consider the Braves the Major League Baseball equivalent of the Buffalo Bills.
But they won 1. Doesn't that validate it? That's the argument you yourself just made about greatness.
I agree.
But who did we beat that year that we won?
Do what now?
Who did we beat that year that we won, Dave?
I believe it was some team in Northeast Ohio.
Some small market baseball team. I can't remember their name.
And I want to make a point, too. Atlanta's a small market team as well. We don't have the extravagant budget that the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Angels have. And on that point, we have to stop and say our thoughts and prayers at Sideline Warning / Unrelated at Birth go out to Tyler Skaggs.
Yep.
I still haven't figured out what happened to him. They say it wasn't suicide and it wasn't foul play, but he died in his hotel room.
Yeah. It's sad.
It is very sad. And Ryan Grover, our thoughts and prayers are out. I know you're just a fan, but you are a big Angels fan. You live out in that area. You live, breathe Angels baseball like we live, breathe baseball, Braves baseball. So our thoughts and prayers are with your team.
Yep.
But I don't know. Do I consider that Braves run a failure? No, because it is the best postseason streak in all of sports. But could it have been better? Yes. So, I don't know. As a Braves fan, I am disappointed that we only won one.
Oh, yeah.
But it does validate that we were good because we won one.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Totally agree.
Yep. While we're on the Braves, and this is probably going to be our last official Sideline Morning Sports Talk. Actually, tell you what. I don't normally make a stop here, but I'm going to do that. This is kind of a disjointed show anyway because we're just stream of consciousness. That's what we're going to do with Unrelated at Birth, and that's what we're going to do here with Sideline Warning. So, Adam, why don't we go ahead and do our ad read about Roosport? By the way, we hope to continue our relationship with Roosport on Unrelated at Birth. There's our segue. We hope to continue our relationship with Unrelated at Birth and Roosport. We have an email into Earl and Brenda talking to them and telling them our future plans. But, Adam, go ahead and tell them about our wonderful friends there at Roosport.
Yeah, man. You hear it every week. The solution that clips with magnets to your waistband without the bulk of belts or bags. Lots of uses that we've talked about, new ones that we've discovered for, going to games, baseball games. Why not, right? Training your dog, walking your dog, anything in addition to running that you can think of where you got to carry stuff with you. You don't want to burden yourself with a bag. Don't want to have to stuff things in your pockets. For those of you who aren't fans of cargo shorts,
like myself,
like Dave, and it's one of those easy solutions to something that you could experience just about every day. So you see them at race expos, you see them at all the Run Disney expos, which we'll probably continue to talk in the future. Mm-hmm. But you see them there, but it's a much more versatile product than that. And they also have a line of power banks, which are good for camping and any number of things where you're going to need to be able to charge your phone when you're not going to be accessible to a plug or something like that. And then the roulette,
even the races,
we still don't have a video of, but hopefully we will, of Dave inflating his Rue Lounger. And with all of their products on their website, I think you can probably find something that you could use, whether you're a runner, whether you hike, whether you just need something to charge your phone on the go. I think they've got enough of a versatile line there where you'll find something. So check them out at www.theroosport.com. And you can use the code Sideline30, all lowercase letters, and then the numbers 30 to get 30% off of all of those products on their product line. That's www.theroosport.com, code Sideline30.
There you go. So on to the baseball talk. The All-Star teams were announced last week, or I guess, the end of last week. And they also announced that Ronald Acuna is going to be in the Home Run Derby. I can't wait for the Home Run Derby because it's going to be Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Ronald Acuna in the Home Run Derby. The only thing that makes me a little scared, a little trepidatious, there's my second big word of the show.
Trepidatious, wow.
Yeah, the only trepidity.
Trepidation. I don't even know how to say it.
The only trepidation I have with this is usually when you go into a Home Run Derby, you change your swing up. And there has been times in the past where it has messed the batter's swing up for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
The Braves need Acuna leading off. They need Acuna being that strong guy that he normally can be. I'm a little scared that he's going to, he's only 21. I'm a little scared that he's going to try a little too hard to show out, and maybe mess his swing up for the rest of the season.
Well, hopefully the Braves being on a pretty good run will quash that, but we'll see.
You would hope so.
Yeah.
So who are you looking forward to in this Home Run Derby?
I think Acuna. I think above and beyond anybody else that's in there, not to beat a homer drum, but I I really am interested to see what he brings to the table. I hope he doesn't push it, but at the same time, I hope he puts on a good show. Because I think he's proven enough of himself on the field. Having a moment like that, I think is going to be really good exposure for him, and I hope he has a blast doing it. So I can't wait until Austin Riley's in it.
Oh, gosh.
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah. As of this recording, we have Vlad Guerrero Jr., we have Carlos Santana, we have Pete Alonso, we have Christian Yelich, Josh Bell, and Ronald Acuna Jr. There's probably going to be 600 home runs hit in this home run derby. I can't wait to see this Pete Alonso, Christian Yelich, Ronald Acuna just bomb fest. So I think looking at it, 1, 2.
I can't wait to see Carlos Santana hit a home run with a guitar.
Not that Carlos Santana.
I know. Come on, it was funny. At least it's worth a chuckle.
You weren't smooth. See what I did there?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Bum. It's all. I mean, besides Santana, it's all young guys.
Yeah.
Guerrero Jr.'s 27, Alonso's 20, Yelich is 22, Acuna's. Wait, that's just their. No, that's their numbers. But they're all young, except Carlos Santana's in his mid-30s. Mm-hmm. Alonso's in his early 20s. We know Acuna's in his early 20s. It's going to be fun because this is basically what the new era of baseball is.
Yeah.
Here are the other rumors for the Derby. Cody Bellinger, which we know he's good. He was in it last year.
Yep.
Joey Gallo, which if you've seen him this year, holy moly.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge. Would you want to see Aaron Judge in a home run derby?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, please. Shohei Ohtani, I can take it or leave it.
No, I would be excited to see that. I would be excited just to see how he did. Yeah.
Mike Trout.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And the rest of them, Javi Baez, Gary Sanchez, I'm okay with.
I think some of my excitement outside of Acuna comes from the rumored names. If you add a few of those in there, I think those would be the ones I would really, really like to see. Because like you said, there's a lot of youth in the current lineup, but I'd like to see some of these guys. Even Hunter Renfroe, who know he was so successful outside of Clemson football.
Yeah. Wrong, Hunter.
I know. It's just funny how that works with names, isn't it?
It really is. So let's look at the rosters now for the National League and the American League. Here's something for you. The oldest player in the starting lineup for the National League is 29-year-old Freddie Freeman.
Wow.
That should tell you how great this the youth movement is.
And how great the next few years, the next 5 to 10 years are going to be in baseball too.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
So your catchers starting is the Braves' hated guy, Wilson Contreras for the Cubs. Don't mess with Tyler Flowers Contreras. The reserves are JT Realmuto and Yasmani Grandal of the Phillies and Milwaukee. First baseman starting, like we just said, is Freddie Freeman. The reserves are Pete Alonso for the Mets and Josh Bell for the Pirates. Second baseman, this is where I'm mad. Ketel Marte deserves to start. He's had a great season for Arizona. Mike Moustakas at Milwaukee, good season. He deserves to be there. Where is Ozzie Albies? Ozzie deserves to be in Cleveland.
Yeah, at least as a reserve, yeah.
Yeah, he deserves some time.
Yeah.
Shortstop, Javi Baez. Pete DeJong for St. Louis. Trevor Story for Colorado. Those are good names. I do think that Dansby, because of his resurgence this year, deserves a little bit more credit and deserves to maybe get some mentions to be there. I know he was top 3.
Yeah.
But if he was top 3, why is he not in this, this list?
I think if he has another good year, he'll make it next year.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have to do it again. But
third base, Nolan Arenado, Chris Bryant, and Anthony Rondon. I understand Arenado. Chris Bryant's played a lot of his year in the outfield.
Yep.
He deserves to be in the All-Star game, but does he deserve to be there as a third baseman?
Maybe that's the best way to slot him, given the talent in the outfield.
Yeah, because here's your outfield. Christian Yelich, Cody Bellinger, and Ronald Acuna Jr. Your reserves are Charlie Blackmon, David Dahl, and Jeff McNeil of the Mets.
Point to.
I mean, yeah, there's nothing there. And check out these pitchers for the National League. Sandy Alcantara of Miami, incredible. Good night, Aiden. Walker Buehler of the Dodgers. Luis Castro of the Cincinnati. Castillo of Cincinnati. Jacob deGrom of the Mets. Zach Greinke of the Diamondbacks. Josh Hader. Hopefully they don't find any tweets of his this year for the Brewers. Clayton Kershaw of the Dodgers. Hyun-Jin Ryu of the Dodgers. Max Scherzer. Hopefully he doesn't get a black eye for the All-Star game. Will Smith of the Giants, who I've heard a rumor might be a Brave by the end of this month. Mike Soroka of the Braves. Kirby Yates of San Diego. That's a stacked pitchers lineup.
Yeah, no doubt.
They're going to need it because here is the American League lineup. You want to start with the pitchers? You want to start with the...
Let's do the same way. Let's do it the same way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got to scroll here just a little bit. Catchers, you got Gary Sanchez starting. James McCann. I think he's with Detroit. They don't have his team there.
I think Chicago. White Sox.
Chicago. Okay. First baseman, Carlos Santana. Not that one, Adam. Jose Abreu and Daniel Volenbach of Seattle. Volenbach's had an amazing year. I'm actually shocked that Santana got the start over him for Seattle. Second baseman, DJ LeMahieu of the Yankees, and Tommy La Stella of the Angels. Congratulations to former Brave Tommy La Stella. He's had a great year there in Los Angeles. Yep. Shortstops are Jorge Polanco, Minnesota, and Francisco Lindor, as BK talked about. Great years for both of them. Third baseman, Alex Bregman, former I think he played for Arkansas, didn't he? For Houston. The reserves, Matt Chapman. Oh, I just got a text. Amanda's going to Target, leaving me with Harper, who's asleep. This is going to be fun.
Please continue.
Yes, have fun there. Have fun.
Bergman went to LSU.
Yeah, Bergman to LSU. I knew he was an SEC guy. Yeah. It's the other guy that was Arkansas, the outfielder for Boston. Yeah. Anyway, Mike Trout starting in the outfield. George Springer starting in the outfield. Michael Brantley is starting in the outfield. Holy crap.
Yeah, right?
Your reserves are Mookie Betts, Joey Gallo, Austin Meadows, and Whit Merrifield. I'm scared.
That's pretty stout.
Yeah. Pitchers, Aroldis Chapman, Garrett Cole, Lucas Giolito, Shane Green, Brad Hand, John Means, Mike Minor, Charlie Morton, Jake Odorizzi, Ryan Priestley, Marcus Stroman, Justin Verlander. So, while the National League is stout, are they going to score any runs?
Oh, yeah, of course they are. Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't think so, Tim.
Yeah, I don't think so, Tim.
Yep.
Oh, pulling up some Al Borland in there.
Yeah, did you like that?
I like that. So, I'm going to ask you this because we've had some discussion that you don't sit and watch baseball. Used to, the Home Run Derby was must-see TV, and you always caught that on TV. Is that sit down and watch it and not have it on in the background must-see TV for you?
No, that is because that's the kind of thing you sit and watch because it's so different. It's only once a year. But for me, when for the very rare instance, I can have a Braves game on the TV here. But even with the Rays and the Marlins on, you're doing something else, and you could look up at the pitch, you hear the crack of a bat, you're seeing the play that happens, and you do something else. That's typically how I consume baseball media. But with the Home Run Derby, it's you watch everything because you don't know how big the next bomb is going to be.
Yeah, exactly. And with these names that we just mentioned being in the Home Run Derby, it's actually going to be really fun. I think what was it? 2007, maybe 2000. What year was it that? The guy that played for the Rays and the Rangers, that was all tatted up. Oh, forget his name. He was alcoholic, and then he played baseball. Anyway,
the guy who's going to come with a lot of tattoos that played baseball. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Well, Rangers fans, and I know a couple of them are yelling.
They're screaming at it. Yeah, screaming at
Yeah.
you. Are you looking it up?
Yes, I am. I'm really mad at myself.
Hang on. Rays, Rangers, tatted up, alcoholic.
Josh Hamilton.
Josh
Hamilton.
Okay, there you go.
It was the year they were at Yankee Stadium. He hit like 17 home runs in one round.
Yeah.
But without getting an out. That was when they still had outs.
Yeah.
And that was probably one of the most favorite modern day home run derbies. And that's can't miss TV. Even if Chris Berman is doing his back, gone, you just mute the TV. So
what?
Oh, dude, Chris
That's
Berman.
classic.
No, maybe once, but he does it 50 billion times. Are you kidding me?
I enjoy it. Oh, well.
Okay. All right. Well, you're just weird.
Well, Chris, 931-44 Blitz, Chris Berman. Give us a shout.
If Chris Berman's listening to this, I will eat the hat that I'm wearing right now.
Oh, please, Chris.
I will dip it in this ranch dressing that I have right next to me because I had pizza before we started recording and eat my American Braves hat.
Merkin.
I got a couple years ago, 4th of July hat on right now?
Yep. I bet Ben loves that one.
Oh, have you seen this year's?
The ones with the star on either side and the...
No, it's even better. It's even better. Look it up. It's the 80s A, the lowercase a. It's a red cap, a kind of a dark blue bill, and the stars and stripes is in the outline of the A, like it's inside the A.
I'm Googling as we speak.
As a hat guy, I need this hat.
That's cool. I like that. Okay.
I
see you, New Era.
New Era.
I see you.
New Era's done great with flags, unlike Nike.
Topic for another day.
Let's.
What?
Wow,
he's gonna dip his toe in the. Look at you. You can't decide whether or not to say it, but you're gonna do it, aren't you?
Okay. Colin Kaepernick.
Wow.
Nike was going to release a shoe with the Betty Ross flag, the 13 stars and the stripes, the colonial flag. They tweeted a picture of it. And Mr. Neal, because it's not about the flag, it's not about the country, it's about police brutality. I get that. I'm totally for free speech. I'm totally for, if that was the true reason that Colin Kaepernick did it, I'm totally for it. But now, Cap is mad because he says that the 1776 flag, Old Glory, the one that Francis Scott Key saw in the War of 1812, flying over the Baltimore Harbor, tattered, worn. He wrote the lyrics to the Star Spangled Banner. That flag is offensive because it was around when there were slave owners. I'm treading lightly here.
Are you?
So if we're saying that because something was around when there were slave owners, does that mean we blow up every Revolutionary War monument that we have? Do we destroy Mount Vernon because there were slave quarters there? Do we destroy Monticello because, Thomas Jefferson had kids with his slave? Do we destroy the log cabin that Lincoln grew up in? Do we destroy Andrew Jackson's house in Tennessee? Do Horseshoe Bend, the Battle of New Orleans? There's stuff there. Do we just take all that away? Go ahead, Adam.
No, you're having a mid-sideline warning, sideline warning.
I am.
This is like the end of the show in the middle of the show. This is great.
Well, we're 40 minutes in.
I think the problem, I'm going to say this very slowly and measured, just like you did.
Mm-hmm.
I think the problem is that we all lack context.
And
Agreed.
a generation like ours that has looked back upon 200 odd years of American history and
You said it wrong.
Merkin, and seen the things that were wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We no longer are in a position where there are great injustices across our country every day. There are divides on a number of levels, racial, political, economic, and otherwise, that truly need solutions. And instead of solutions, all we can do is provide ultimatums. And I think we need to not look at, by looking at a flag with 13 stars on it and seeing a flag that flew above Mount Vernon when slaves lived there, we need to look at those 13 stars and remember that those men laid the foundation, and the men and women the woman who sewed the flag, the men who died on the battlefield.
She didn't sew the flag, it's legend.
Well, whatever. Of any different creed or color that fought in that war, laid a foundation that led to where we are today. And if you look back on the Civil War and the Confederate flag, and you look back on the Revolutionary War and the Old Glory flag, and you see hate and you see racism, I think we should be the better for it and say that we will never allow ourselves to get there again, and take the good things from those periods. Because to continue to divide and continue to provide reasons why people should be divided, because with this story, everybody's going to have an opinion. Everybody's going to have opinion one way or the other. There's nobody who's going to read this story. Some people will roll their eyes and be like, really? But that in itself is an opinion, that we need to stop this, or why are we doing this kind of thing. But I think with this, you joke, and I'm not saying you joke, Dave, but you mentioned, are we going to get rid of things from American history? Would you put that past America in its current state? And I don't mean the left, and I don't mean the right, and I don't mean the center, and I don't mean a political party. I mean everybody. Would you put that past America in its current state? That all of a sudden now anything associated with that is bad too. I think that everybody just needs context of, it's a different time, a different way of thinking, and looking back 200 years with the current knowledge that we have and the current decencies and humanities that we try to filter our daily lives through is a fool's errand. Because we will always find something that somebody else did that's wrong, that we could have done better. We just have to make sure we do better. And if you're getting rid of a shoe, if tweeting about a shoe is going to make people see color less in their daily lives, if tweeting about a shoe is going to make police actually change some of their policies that are probably outdated and should be adjusted, if tweeting about a shoe is going to make us actually solve the immigration problem or solve the gun problem that might or might not exist depending on who you talk to, if that's going to solve anything, get rid of the shoe. But if all it's going to do is create a polarizing topic that people can get angry about and therefore have one more reason to be mad at their neighbor, sometimes it's better to be silent on things that don't matter and pick your battles. And everything in America right now is a battle. And this is just another example of that.
That's why we almost didn't mention this, but I think that you and I have such vocal opinions on this that I think we would be doing ourselves a disservice by staying quiet, because I think you're right. I think something you said earlier, I'm paraphrasing what you said, makes sense. Kaepernick and what he's saying, he's missing the forest for the trees.
Basically, a lot of people are right now.
Yeah, there are a lot of issues going on with the country today. Racial injustice, immigration injustice in general. The problem is, even doing that, you're not looking at the world colorblind. You're looking at the world left, or you're looking at the world right. And it's taken me almost 20 years to be able to say this. When I was first allowed to vote at 18, I was 100% Republican because that's what my parents were. I was 100% write down red. There's nothing you could do to taint my view of red. We need as a country, and I'm sorry that this is what Unrelated Birth might turn into. This is sports. This is stream of consciousness.
It's
what
us.
have you. We need as a country to stop seeing blue, to stop seeing red. I hate to say it, to see purple.
Well, here's the thing, Dave. We have things in this country right now. We have a Republican president and a typically Republican-leaning government overall, even though the House and the Senate are different, right?
I don't know if I could call him.
Well,
Republican.
I'm talking about in terms of the policies that have been enacted probably fall a little bit more at the federal level to the Republican style of belief right now. The problem is that whoever is in charge, the other folks want you to believe that nothing that the other people do is ever good at any time.
Right.
The Republicans want you to believe that nothing Obama ever enacted was good. And the Democrats want you to believe that every word Donald Trump breathes and every breath he takes even is bad. What we need to be able to do in this country is to be able to look at the other person and say, you know what, doggone it, you're not on my team, but the thing that you did was good, and I plan to continue that. That should be just as valid of a campaign promise and just as valid as a point to make when you're stumping for yourself to run for president as you're going to change everything. But in order for people in power to stay in power, they have to divide. That is the prevailing way of life right now. And the problem with people like Colin Kaepernick is they buy into that and they want to divide even more. The other problem with Colin Kaepernick is he's a better armchair quarterback than he ever was an actual quarterback.
He
and
got
if we
San
want to,
Fran to the Super Bowl.
Did they win?
No.
Okay, that was our definition of excellence a minute ago, right?
Right.
But I think if all of us can go back, let me say this: I had a great great grandfather who was, I believe it's great, that was full-blooded Cherokee. I don't check a box. I don't try to get a tribal membership, and I'm not saying anything about any political candidate. I just want to throw that out there, no matter what the stories are. My story is that when they came and went to resettle his tribe, I can't find any records of him genealogically. I can't find anything. Because when they came and resettled all of the tribes in that nation on the Trail of Tears, he defied federal law and state. And the way he did that was by becoming part of that family. And that's how I am who I am today. And anybody that says that I could never understand somebody making a choice between the best thing for them and their family and the best thing based off what, is right or wrong and obeying the law or not obeying the law and the people coming across. In what I've learned about my family, I probably understand it just as well as anybody else, because I wouldn't be here. My wife wouldn't live where she lives. I wouldn't have my children if somebody hadn't defied the legal thing to do at the time to make a choice to stay. And I think all of us have to look at everybody across the board and realize that we can't rewind and stop slavery. We can't stop Indians being Native Americans, being relocated. We can't stop the civil rights movement and all the bad things that happened in the South with that. We can't stop segregation. None of that can ever be changed. But we can either stay rooted in that, or we can realize that where we are today has that as its past, but that doesn't have to be our future.
Amen.
That's all I'm going to say.
And I will say this too, and this is me as I was a history minor. History is my thing. I think that's one thing, another thing that you and I share.
Yep.
Our love for history. In fact, when the pop figures came out on Friday, what did you and I do? We were at Target.
Yeah, you were at Target. I was there. They didn't have them, so I went to Hot Topic. Yes, I went into a Hot Topic.
Hey, to get those pop figures and those wrestling T-shirts, I go to Hot Topic. But one thing that you see in history over and over and over, those that forget history are doomed to repeat it. What I see people wanting to do, right and left, is erase the history. If you tear down statues, you forget history. It's something that Disney and the Mexican culture, Disney did it with Coco. The Mexican culture does it with De la Muertes. De la Muertes.
Dia de las Muertes and Ofrendas, yeah.
Right. if you don't put their picture on the ofrenda, they are forgotten and they can't come across the border. If you tear down statues, our children's children won't read about it in the history books. They won't see the statues. They won't know. They won't go and say, "Mommy, what's this? Daddy, what's this about?" They will forget about what happened, and their kids will make the mistakes that our grandparents, great grandparents made.
But that's the thing, Dave. Is I can kind of put myself. I read a book one time that really changed the way I think about things, called The Opposable Mind, and being able to hold two divergent opinions in your brain at the same time without causing conflict and rejecting one immediately, right? Something we all have to do in life. And with that, I can understand the viewpoint based off of some of the stuff you hear, some of the stuff you read, that there are people that use those statues and use the Confederate flag as a symbol of defiance and a little bit of racism with that. There are people who do that. They fly it. They're putting a big, middle finger up at culture and society by saying, I'll do what I want. You're not going to tell me what to do. But there are all small circles of people that use that in a negative way, in a racist and hateful way. Small circles. It's not the mainstream by any stretch. Right. Small circles of people. I don't know anybody that flies Old Glory and says, man, one day we're going to go back to the way things were in 1776. Nobody feels that way. Nobody's using that. Nike's not using that as a symbol of that. They're using it as a symbol of remember our heritage, and not the heritage and the bad things. Take the good things, just like we do with our parents, and just like I hope my kids do with me. I hope they don't look at my mistakes. I hope they look at the good things I gave them and take that into their lives. Not go back and say, well, I'm taking down all the pictures of my dad because of this thing he said one time, Right. And we have to just take the best from it. And that's what the intent of it was. And there's nobody who uses that as a symbol of anything other than patriotism. And patriotism in a good way. So, but I think there are people who even question if that's a good thing anymore or not. And that's the beauty of our country at the end of the day, is we can have conversations like this, Dave. And there's not the FBI knocking at our door saying you can't broadcast that or, anything like that. I think we need to see the beauty in it a little bit more, instead of trying to find problems. There are enough problems to solve on their own.
So that's the left. I was mad at the right a couple of days ago, and I don't know if you read this or saw this, but Vance, we're going to talk soccer on this podcast. You ready? Megan Rapapucci, or whatever her name is, the one with pink, purple hair. Whatever.
That's how closely you follow soccer.
Well, I know who she is.
Yeah, we all know who you're talking about.
She said that she would not go to the White House, and that is her right. It's not, you don't have to go to the White House if you win. I mean, it is a tradition. Yeah. It's been heralded as something that people want to do. I will say this, if people didn't want to do that in the previous 8 years, they would have been lambasted in the media.
The problem wasn't that she didn't want to go. Enough sports teams have done that now where you kind of expect at least a third of any given roster is probably not going to go to the White House. It's almost an expectation.
They probably didn't want hamburgers that day.
Those guys were having the time of their lives, and you know it, and I know it. Those offensive linemen, they've never eaten a meal they enjoyed more than that. They don't want no hoity-toity stuff. They're college kids. Anyway. Yeah. So I think the problem with it was the way that she expressed it.
Right.
If you express it in a way that says, I'm making a personal decision, like we would with each other or anybody else, I'm making a personal decision and I'm choosing not to go. End of story. But when you are adding vulgarities and you're going like people flying the rebel flag on the back of their truck, it's a big middle finger to society. That's a big middle finger to the White House. You're going to expect some backlash. I mean, come on. If we all just express ourselves with just a little bit more finesse, we'll find that a lot of this stuff goes away. But the problem is with Facebook, Twitter, and media, this is their story now. These are their stories. Are you singing Bruno Mars?
I was.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Yeah, I'm a little impressed with myself too. It's on the NBA 2K19 game.
Oh, got it. Okay.
But the reason I was mad at the right is there were people, actual Republicans with America all over their Twitter handle, saying, well, let's just root for England today so they don't have to worry about America being in the... There is nothing you can tell me. There is nothing that they can do that would make me root against my country.
No.
I told Kyle, who I posted something on Facebook, and he said, "Oh, you're just a hypocrite. You're watching soccer because it's blah blah blah." America could be playing tiddlywinks, and I would watch it because it's America.
Shoot some ladders.
I am. It's not a sport. It's a sport, but it's not a sport that I enjoy. But I watch it because it's America. I take pride in my country. I cry sometimes when Adam, I don't know if you were there. Yeah, you would have been there still. The game where we came back from 9/11 and they played Ray Charles, America the Beautiful.
Yeah.
Was there a dry eye in that stadium?
No, of course not.
That's what I think of when I think patriotism. Not, oh, this woman said that, so let's hope that they don't win. No, they're Americans because you have that First Amendment right. They have that First Amendment right. The First Amendment right isn't freedom of speech if you agree with them. It's freedom of speech. Freedom.
Yeah.
Agree with or not agree with. And I hope y'all like this kind of stream of consciousness because y'all probably think this is made up, but honestly, this is how Adam and I talk.
It is.
I mean, what was it you said the other day? It was just a quick blurb. Oh, something about, Horror Nights. And I said, that's also the same day as the Notre Dame Georgia game. And you said, Halloween Horror Nights greater than anything. I said, anything? I said, my anniversary, ? My kid's birthday, ? Iron Bowl, ? Championship game, ? And I think your response was, always arguing this guy.
I'm always arguing this. Yeah.
That's just how you and I talk.
Can I close this topic with just one thought?
Go ahead.
If all of us want to, one half of us want to just really just show Trump, we'll show that guy, right? And the other half, the same people that are mad at the soccer player, want to show Obama and whoever the Democrats are and Hillary Clinton, lock her up and all that, right? You know what the best thing we could do to really stick it to those guys is? Get along.
Vote somebody down the middle?
Get along. Right. Because they want you to be mad. They want you to be divided, just like Tide wants you to like their detergent more than the other. Because if they can make you mad enough at who's there now, you'll vote for the other one. And then the pendulum swings the other way. But if we could just have a decent conversation with each other and figure this out and actually really hold our people accountable in Washington and in our local governments to solve these problems instead of just using talking points, that's the best way you could stick it to Kamala Harris, Donald Trump Jr., whoever. AOC, Joe Biden. I don't care what side of the aisle they're on.
Right.
But until we get over this stupid anger about every little thing that comes out, it's one thing to go on a fun little rant about something like we do. It's another where people are truly triggered by some of this stuff. And we need to stop. That's the best way. If you want to really get on somebody's nerves up there and stick it to the other side, get along with somebody from that side and work to propose a solution. And that'll really put the people in power in a really sticky spot.
Right. Can I say something that might be a little controversial as we end this?
Oh, gosh. We made it all this way through this very sensitive topic, Dave.
You know what my favorite day of American history is in my lifetime?
In your lifetime? There's too many to guess.
Okay.
Tear down that wall.
No, September 12th.
Okay.
2001.
Okay.
The day after the worst tragedy in American history.
Yep.
You had President Bush holding hands with Al Gore. You had Hillary Clinton holding hands with Nancy Reagan. You had Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, what have you party reaching across the aisle, seeing their brother and their sister as American and not Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, whatever.
Yeah.
You see them as a person because you just went through the worst tragedy of your lifetime and you didn't know that you would see them again tomorrow.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't take another 9/11 to make this country back to what it was on September 12th, 2001.
But that's the thing, Dave, is we have gotten, and I don't want to drag this on anymore, we have gotten to a point in this country with athletes, politicians, all these other guys, where we have forgotten that we don't work for Donald Trump. We don't work for the government. We are not a slave to them. We are not beholden to them. They work for us.
Right.
And if somebody out there doesn't like what Donald Trump does, the way to stop it is not to throw rocks and milkshakes, Antifa, at your neighbor. It's to actually go out and build coalitions, grassroots groups of people who will propose solutions and fight. And I'm not talking in a lobbying way where you've got the sugarcane industry right next to somebody who's lobbying for children in South America that need food. I'm talking about actual real solutions and not PACs. Not all of this money-making stuff, because all of the stuff that exists today is only for money and power. We have to remember that these people work for us. They didn't throw tea in the harbor just to prove a point and look at us, we're on TV and we're going to post our pictures of our selfies. You know, they did it to show that they will band together.
Yep.
And they will stand for it in a way that is united and not against each other.
Yep.
You didn't have people sitting on the other side of the Tea Party yelling back and throwing things at them. They did it. They got it together. And I'm not saying there should be things where we destroy things, but it's just you have to build that coalition locally with people of all different backgrounds. Right. Because the more division and the more separation, the worse it's going to get. And we the people is not some cool thing, funny thing that we just quote and say from 200-300 years ago. It's what they meant. We the people, not Donald Trump. I mean, you see it on this. One of the questions that they asked in the Democratic debate, and they've asked it in Republican debates too, is what will you do on your first day? Oh, I'd sign this and I'd sign that and I'd do this. The president shouldn't do anything on day one except understand what the people have asked him to do or her to do.
I agree.
Figure out what it is you've been chartered to do by the people who put you in office, then build a plan with everybody around you to actually get there. And it's one of the things that frustrates me so bad about somebody like Donald Trump being in the office is you take an executive of a company who nobody has said no to for 50 years. Nobody said no to him ever. And you put a guy like that in the Oval Office, that's the kind of person that's just I don't have to work with anybody. Nobody ever says no to me. I always get what I want. I'm the master negotiator. We need that business mindset with just a little bit more humility. Humble pie being eaten every day by that person. We need a Mr. Smith goes to Washington moment right now. And there's not anybody who is on that stage that I think meets that criteria that could pull it off. And I think Donald Trump gave us the business sense. There's not, no, because you have to raise too much money. You have to defeat the power structure to get there.
There is one that it resides in your state, but he got pushed down way too much in 18.
Who's that?
Marco. I want Marco. I think Marco is the next coming of Reagan.
But look at him, man. All it took was a sip from a bottle of water to sink his campaign.
I know.
I mean, come on. That's where we are right now. I don't care what ideas you have. You can't speak eloquently without taking a drink. I mean, really?
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. We've gone way too
Well, we haven't gone too Republican. Thank you.
Well, we've gone too political. I mean,
that is not. So that's not really a preview, guys. It won't be politics all the time. I promise. It'll be other stuff.
It's just that came out today, and that was Adam and I talked to each other on my ride home from our ride homes from work, and I have about a 20-minute drive from work, and that was pretty much what we talked about. And I said I wasn't going to bring it up, but it got brought up
by you.
By me, yeah, guys.
Yeah.
I hate ending the show because I love Sideline Warning. I love it. Got me into podcasting. I love the space that we're in. I love the small niche that we have in this market. I hope that none of y'all leave us. Truly hope that none of y'all leave us, because I want to. I think that we're going to expand our market with Unrelated at Birth and bring in more people in our fold.
Well, we want to relate with everybody even more. We want more interaction. I mean,
right.
growth is great, but if we could have the same people that listen today, but we hear from you more often because we're talking more topics, that kind of thing, that's the best outcome I think we could have with this. So yeah, I'm excited.
Hey, do I need anything at Target? Amanda just asked me if I needed anything from Target.
They got any new Funko Pops?
That's a good question. Let me ask her.
Let me
see
take
what
a
her
look.
response will be. Let's see. Do they have any more Funko Pops?
Typey. Audio Veritas. Right here in your face.
No.
I'm not going over there to look is what you're going to get.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, we're probably going to take a 2 to 3 week break. We will let y'all know when we're back. We're still working on the logo. We have, I guess, we've outsourced somebody for the logo. We have. Amanda said doubt it. We got the first rough sketch back, and we sent it back.
I cannot wait to show everybody the evolution of the logo. Like every one of them, we're going to put them in like a series of photos on Facebook.
It was funny.
Yep.
Guys, the socials at DAdams419 at Runtide Run. I don't want to give out the Facebook because it's going to change.
Yep.
Instagram's going to change, but you can follow me and Adam on Instagram.
There you
go. He's not doing that much. Runtide Run, DAdams419. So I say it every week, and we truly do mean it this time.
Yeah.
We love you. We'll see y'all in a couple of weeks, I guess. Please don't turn it off after you hear us done talking, because you will hear Dylan Spears' amazing. We're about
at least a teaser of it.
Yeah, let's play the whole thing of the second draft.
Okay.
The last phrase or two will change. We're in the process of changing a couple of things, but we're going to play the end of it. So, guys, we say this every week, and until we talk to y'all next time, we love y'all. We'll see y'all in a couple of weeks. Roll Tide, chop on, and I think we have a special ending to this show.
We have a special send-off. Say bye, guys.
Bye.
Say listen to Unrelated at Birth.
Yes.
No? Okay. Listen to Unrelated at Birth.
Guys, we'll see y'all in a couple of weeks.
Brothers, but not by birth. Family, but not by DNA. Dave and Adam are two of a kind, and they want to borrow some of your day to talk into your ear holes about midi-chlorians and roller coasters. Those two things are unrelated, but so are they. They're unrelated at birth, like most people who aren't related. Unrelated at birth, but they're brothers in a brotherly way. Adam is in Ravenclaw and wrestling makes Dave get loud. But the one thing they have in common is that they're both really proud to be unrelated at birth.